Okay, so before I even go into this video, I want to preface that this video isn't meant to be a hate video in any way. I know it'll get a ton of hate from a lot of people, mostly because how respected Wifies' new and most popular ARG videos are, especially the first one that has over 25 million views by this point, which is just insane. But besides that, I honestly think that his initial video titled Searching for the World That Doesn't Exist is probably one of the most overrated Minecraft videos ever made. So let's get into it. Over the last 5 months, I've been seeing everyone and their mothers reacting to these series, calling the first video the best video of 2025. Legit, every major streamer reacted to it, and a lot of them were calling it the best video of 2025. And you know, for me personally, I don't mind these ARG type videos. They are obviously fully scripted and they tell a story that you're meant to be emotionally invested in. And when we go to Wifey's initial video, it's based on an old book called The King in Yellow, which you can read about here. Wifey's put this in a Minecraft ARG format where this guy Avery found a laptop in a storage locker, opened it up, and it already had Minecraft inside it. And inside Minecraft there was a seemingly new world which ended up not being new at all. This character Avery then found a strange mine which had a book inside it warning him about not turning left at the crossroads. And what happens in this video is Wifey's basically finds Avery's video on YouTube that ends with him in the mine, and before Wifey's thinks that he hit a dead end because the video ends with Avery being confused in a mine, he rewatches Avery's video, and at the complete end of the video, random blocks flash in a random order right before the video ends, giving Wifey something to work off of. Now, I'm sure most of you watching this video have already seen Wifey's video on this, so I won't spend too much time recapping what actually happened, but to start out, I know that these series are fully scripted. Wifey's obviously made the whole thing up, and one thing I already quite disliked even at the start is just how much Wifey's knows when commentating, because as he commentates, he clearly acts like he's finding out what is happening with the viewer to make it more interesting. And the part I find quite funny is when he notices the flash of blocks in Avery's inventory right before the video ends, and how he seemingly knows exactly what it means. He sees these blocks and with no hesitation decides to take the first letter of the blocks, capitalize it if there's more than one block, which in the end creates a Google Drive link. And again, I know it's scripted, but it's kind of weird how when there's a part of the video that is meant to be difficult to solve, Wifey seemingly knows the exact answer to it. Like, I don't know if you guys understand what I exactly mean, but it's just kind of weird how when there's a puzzle-like segment in these videos, Wifey's acts like he doesn't understand it and that there will probably be some sort of a cool way of finding out what it means, but in the end, Wifey's just thinks of an answer instantly without even providing an explanation as to how he got there. And you know, in my mind, the entire point of these videos is solving the actual mystery, but in this video, Wifey's already knows the answer to a lot of it. And you know, instead of letting the audience figure it out with him, he kind of just skips the entire process entirely. So at first glance, it kind of looks complex, but you never actually end up feeling the complexity at all. Like, okay, he sees the blocks flash at the end of Avery's video, and he just instantly decides to create a link by taking the first letter of each block and capitalizing it if there's more than one block. He then decides that it has to be a Google Drive link that ends up leading him to Dearlord's POV of the whole mystery. Before I even started watching it, I had the premise that it's going to be some otherworldly stuff because basically all of the YouTubers and streamers were quite literally saying that it's the best video of 2025. And I'm gonna be honest, after watching the first video, I did find it quite interesting. It was kind of scary because I expected some jump scares. The maps and the environment that was built for that video were also insane. Like, that easily is the best part of these series from Wifey's. I got no clue how long it took to build it all, but that kind of hands down was the best part of these videos. But again, for this video to be the best video of 2025, like seriously, you gotta realize people glazed this video to lengths never seen before. This was probably the most glazed Minecraft video behind the viral civilization video from like 10 months ago. I even made a community poll asking people what they thought of the Wifey's video, and results wise, most people thought it was amazing. But when I read the comments, there were some very interesting perspectives. It was good, but not as insane as everyone has been saying, to be honest. I felt the pacing of the second video was a little slow, but the ending was crazy. The first episode was amazing, but I didn't like the second episode too much. Kind of weakened the insane mystery surrounding the King in Yellow, and the ending of him covered with sensor bars to a generic big monster who wanted to destroy the world, who didn't even succeed. The second episode is good in its own right, especially the structures and the relation between Avery and Dearlord. But the main aspect, at least for me, that made the first episode amazing was just the sheer mystery of the King in Yellow. That ending was amazing yet unsettling with the censor. Second didn't hit the same, but different strokes for different folks, I guess. I'm sure the emotional tone of the second episode was loved by many. I didn't like the second part that much, but the first one was so good. Maybe I'm a buzzkill, but the first one low-key felt like a waste of my 40 minutes. I didn't watch the second. I liked the little contraption to figure out who was following him, but that's the only thing that stood out. That part didn't even really pay off to anything though. It was good, a bit overrated, but hey, the next part cooks. I feel like the ARG was a bit overrated, not because the ARG is bad, because his older videos were good too and people are not watching those. And I do have to agree with that, his older videos are also just as good, if not better for some people, and they didn't even get close to how much success these videos got. I agree, it's good, but in my opinion, it's not the best ARG Wifey's ever made, even though it has both the smartest protagonist and antagonist ever in any ARG. In my opinion, he just made better ARGs, like finding a player player who doesn't exist and the Matchbox mystery. First video was perfect, second one defeated the entire point of the cosmic horror and demonstrated that Wifies doesn't really understand the King in Yellow very well, which then took away from the first one by giving such a dissatisfying conclusion to the story. Kinda overrated, didn't like the second part as the first one. It is overrated to be honest, still the best ARG though. Waste of time should be an option. Overrated, they made it into a PG-13 kids show tone, where everyone has dumbed down. Very overrated, dude. And yeah, as you can see, a lot of people are calling it overrated. More so the second episode though, which I haven't touched upon, but I personally found it very slow paced. I know I might sound like I have a form of bias against these series, or maybe that I have TikTok brain with bad attention span, but I kid you not, I watched the second episode in 2x speed and it still felt too long. It was also kind of predictable in many ways. And I do gotta say this, some of the reading parts where there was a person reading some schizo text in a very emotional way was honestly more funny and cringy than anything.
I must be silence. I will clear my mind.
I know it's meant to be very emotional and you're supposed to be very invested in it, but some of those parts just felt very cringe. I also found this Reddit thread where people talked about it even more. Can someone tell me how this video is the best video of 2025, but this isn't? And then a lot of people in the comments were saying this. It's a boring ass ARG that takes some elements from a 100-year-old book that is actually a lot more interesting than the ARG itself. It was a good video, it's just the concept had been done so many times. I mean, Wifies has at least 5 videos named Searching For that doesn't exist. It's not just that. My issues with the ARG are that it's literally about nothing. Modern building techniques and textures that I just feel like I'm watching a showcase of, and what you could build with World Edit. It doesn't deserve the popularity it's getting. Yeah, same, it's kind of just yap. And I guess my complete main point is that these series are simply overrated. They aren't quote-unquote bad per se, but calling the initial video the best video of 2025 is absolutely ridiculous.
I kind of like that. But best video of 2025? Calm down, bro. It's gotta be, like, come on, like, we hit Furious a butterfly sapphire.
Like, again, you gotta understand the amount of glaze that these video series were receiving is out of this world. As one of the Reddit commentators said, I do believe that there are countless quote-unquote better ARG videos that are way more entertaining than this in many aspects. Maybe I'm someone who likes simplicity more because I do find more simple storylines more entertaining. And you know, the 2-hour sequel Wifies did for these series was genuinely so long. As I said, I watched it in 2x speed and it still felt very stretched. And I know this 100% is an opinion not many people will have, but again, I do feel like there's a good patch of people who overglaze these series because famous YouTubers and streamers overglaze them. Even looking at some of the comments, people are blindly just calling it the best thing ever without really saying why. And you know, I'll repeat this for the last time. Wifies' idea was very niche, but very good. The maps and the environment were genuinely S tier in my opinion. The storytelling was good, but I felt it was very slow paced at times. It also wasn't as emotional as people said it was. And you know, it 100% wasn't the best video of 2025 in any way. And you know, I guess that's the biggest thing I wanted to talk about, because I feel like videos like these are probably the best definition of overrated in my opinion. I feel like people calling it the best video of 2025 started out as some sort of a trend. One person or YouTuber started calling it the best video of 2025 and everyone else just kind of jumped on that. But yeah, this isn't meant to be a hate video in any way, so be sure to tell me what you think in the comments.